Hi guys, M6LHS here, just taking a short walk in the local area. I thought it's about time to do a proper review of my Yaesu VX-7R, the little handheld that I've been using for over a year now. And you've seen my test of the two Nagoya antennas using this unit. So here I have the VX-7R. The VX-7R is a tri-band handheld radio, so it has your 6 meters, 2 meters and 70 centimeters. It's very small. At the same time it's quite heavy for the size because it's made of metal body, and this is totally waterproof, so this is more heavy duty, if you like, as a radio. Now, the VX-7R has so many functions, I can't even possibly go through this within a short video. So instead, there are some of the highlights which I use a lot and which I consider to be a very good radio. The display on the VX-7R is probably the best in all the radios I've used of this size. You can receive two frequencies at the same time simultaneously, one being, you could have a wide FM and one on narrow. You could have a VHF and a UHF. You can listen to aircraft band on the top one, and also monitoring your ham band in the lower channel. A very nice feature of the VX-7R is you can receive on aircraft band, so the airband VHF on AM. As you can see here on 120.4, this is Heathrow Airport's, I think it's intermediate or final sector frequency.
363 at 817. Soviet 333 when localizer established, descent with the glide path runway 27 right, maintain speed 180 knots. Oh, when localizer established, descending on right path, transfer triple B. Speed 180. Paper. United 17, descend to altitude 5,000 feet. 5,000 feet.
For someone who's interested in scanning and aircraft listening, this is a great radio. It works probably better than some of the scanners, so I've found this one to be very good. I mean, same functions available on the FT60, but the FT60 is a dual band radio and it's a lot bigger than the VX-7R. It doesn't matter how much I love the cheap Chinese radios, not having an AM airband listening is just a big problem for me. So you have to take more than one radio when you're out and about. With a VX-7R, you can pretty much use it as a scanner, and the scan speed is very fast, which I'll demonstrate next.
Degrees, established localizer 27 left. We're copied information, focus on QNH 1331. Plus 5 degrees. Northbound analyzing QNH 1031. Northbound QFB 1027. Touchdown zone elevation runway 25 right hand 124 feet. All aids are fully serviceable. Pilot has confirmed information code mic received on first contact with Northbound. Northbound information code mic town at 1113 Zulu. Runway 25 right hand, color code white.
Another big plus point with this VX-7R is the number of memory channels you can have on this radio, and it's absolutely hundreds, and there are different types. There's one-touch memories, there's different banks of memory channels. Now, I know the other Chinese radios will do FM broadcast as well, but it's not as good as the Yaesu VX-7R. Of course, you're paying not only 10 times more money, but you get a display of the channel's name, and you could store a number of them rather than just the 10 or 20 on some of the ocean radios. And I have been able to use the 7R as a morning radio alarm clock. So if you go into the menu options, you can see the on timer, so change that to 6:55 in the morning, turn it on. So make sure you leave the radio on the broadcast, the channel you want to be, and the desired volume, so make sure it's not too loud, so it's going to make you jump out of bed. But it does turn itself on at the time you set, so that is multi-function. The VX-7R is also very good for AM listening, providing you in the right location with the right antenna, but it does work with the AM what I have now with a 2 meter and 70 centimeter antenna. So I just turn the volume up, you can listen to this.
But the further you go down into the stadium, of course,
you can still die on, so why should I go back just for the sake of some people who haven't climbed it? I mean,
he gets recognised, and the moral of the story, don't pretend.
This model also transmits on the 4 meter band, so 70 megahertz. I've been able to try that with a 70.45 on narrow FM. Unfortunately, there's not many people using the 4 meter band in my local area, so let's just try and make a call and see if anyone's going to respond. CQ M6 LHS Mike 6 Lima Hotel Sierra Portable, calling CQ. So 70.45, and usually it's very quiet, nothing happening at all on this band.
M6 LHF M3MZP. Operator name this way, Tony Tango Oscar November Yankee. The location is Mixham, just outside of Croydon there. Back to you.
3MZP M6 LHS Portsville. Morning Tony. Name is Hautian, spells Hotel Alpha Oscar Tango India Alpha November. Hautian, or short as HQTH High Wycombe in Buckinghamshire.
Oh, nice. What's it like there? It was quite chilly here this morning, and I know the common behind where I live was rather foggy and misty there this morning. But I should imagine a lot of that.
The two dials being together, you have the volume control on top, and you have a VFO selection switch just underneath, and that works quite well. It saves a lot of space on top, being a very small radio. Now, you can upgrade your VX-7R to display the barometric pressure just by plugging in a piece of circuit board and some sort of upgrade just underneath the battery compartment, but I'd leave that because, you know, hopefully I can do that with my watch, so there's no need to get the radio to do that as well. It does display the temperature in the surrounding, but once you've used the radio for about 10 minutes, it's going to be very warm, so the temperature isn't accurate, so you have to leave it for about half an hour without touching it or wearing it around your belt to get a real temperature reading of the VX-7R. The radio can be charged using a mains charger that comes with the box, just by plugging into the side of the radio. Now you can charge the lithium battery pack when it's attached to the radio, but in my case I've bought a spare battery, and a rapid charger that only takes around 2 hours to charge up my other battery. You know, if you do leave it in, I think it takes up to 8 to 10 hours to charge the battery fully using the mains charger. So somewhere to like a lanyard hooked or a little hand strap. And something you don't see a lot on the back of the radio, it says made in Japan rather than made in China with most of other things these days. And the PTT button is on the left, and just underneath that you have a little monitor button, and that can be programmed to do other functions, but at the moment I'm leaving it as a monitor. Atop the radio you have the antenna, the volume switch and the dial, and there's another little plug where it's covered. You can use this for your programming lead or a headphone or the headset. I have got both, and I do find it very not easy to screw in because it's so close to the antenna. Now, talking about the downside or the not so good points about this radio. Well, first of all, the belt clip. I haven't heard anyone saying this is a really clever design or good idea. You know, you could have done better without using this, you know, plastic slip-on things, and it is quite intrusive, and you know, if you're wearing this on your belt, it's not very comfortable. So again, to put it on, just slide the radio onto the belt clip and you hear the click. Now, if you're using this in your hand with the belt clip attached, it's quite awkward. It's not very comfortable. But like I said, most people decide not to use the belt clip, and you can buy a little cover for this radio which has a separate clip attached to it. So to take the whole thing off, you just turn the radio 180 degrees and you can unscrew the back, so make sure, well, the radio will be a lot flatter on the back, so that makes it easier to carry and to hold in your hand. Next complaint I have is about the antenna. Now the stock one isn't very good. I have tried it and compared it side by side with the Nagoya one, which is only about a tenner, and this one works far better than the stock antenna, and it's more flexible as well, so if you bend it you don't worry about damaging it, whereas the Yaesu one is quite rigid and you wouldn't want to damage the connection here. You probably wouldn't mind using the VX-7R in the winter in the cold outside, because it does warm up pretty quickly, so use it as a hand warmer, but that only lasts you about half an hour on the standard battery pack. I have two batteries. One is a 1250 milliamp hours lithium battery pack, and the other one is a 1500 milliamp hours. Now with either of them you don't get much time out of talking, so you have to keep the other one on charge pretty much, you know, all the time. Now it's the sub band. Now I know it has two band, and you can on the top one you can listen to pretty much everything across all the band, but the sub band, the lower one, is only for ham bands, so you won't be able to listen to two stations for aircrafts. So the air band, you can only do air band, FM, broadcast, and the lower band on the top one. So if I go through the different bands on the sub channel, you only have the 2 meter, 70 centimeter and the 6 meter. So that's the three bands you have for the lower one, so that's for ham only. Those negative points are only small, and if you're focusing on the good things that this radio can do, I'm sure you won't mind having a little bit of imperfections, if you like, of the design. Now I like it very much. I carry it pretty much everywhere I go. Always have a spare battery. Having said the battery life isn't very good, and overall this is a radio that you wouldn't mind getting wet because it's waterproof. You take it anywhere because it covers all the different bands. Price wise, you know, around £300, but that's not so bad if you look after it. And having a very desirable badge says it really, you know, very well. Some people will only buy Yaesu, so now here you are, the VX-7R. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.